Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is David Rausch. I'm the creator of Go, and this is the Go Elementary Large Group Demo. What exactly do I mean by large group? Well, let me explain. Go follows a large group, small group model. There's a portion of the lesson where all of the kids are learning together. That's the large group. And there's a portion of the lesson where kids break into smaller, more age-appropriate groups for activities and discussion. That's the small group. Here's what it does not mean, though. It does not mean you can't use Go in a classroom format. If you have a smaller number of kids in your room, or if you're in a classroom setting, you can do both the large group and small group all together in one room. With that said, let's jump into an elementary large group lesson so I can show you how it works. The first thing you'll see is the title page. This has all of the most basic info for the lesson, info like the unit title, the lesson title, and right here, the big idea, Bible basis, and memory verse. And then down here, there's a schedule that shows you a general breakdown of the lesson flow. The titles in blue are small group components. The titles in green are large group components. And all of these times can be changed in the document if you need to adjust them for your own service length. On page 2, we include a devotional for the leaders to help them prepare their hearts for the lesson. The leader devotional is different every week. Then on page 3, we have built-in training for you and your volunteers. This is the large group skill building page. The purpose behind it is to help your large group teachers become better communicators. And since, for example, this unit deals with some props, we included a skill builder on using props effectively. The skill builder stays the same for the entire unit, then it changes with the next unit. On the next page, we'll see a short description of the unit followed by setup instructions that help you prepare your room ahead of time. There's a separate supply list document that shows you all of the supplies you'll need for the lesson along with amounts and any special instructions. One thing real quickly to mention in regards to supplies is that we try to make Go a very supply-friendly curriculum. When a lesson calls for supplies, we try to make it something you'll have around the church or at your house. Or if there's something you need to purchase, like this rubber chicken, it's something relatively inexpensive that you can easily find online or at the grocery store or at a big box store. That's our way of trying to be very mindful of your time and your budget. All right. Scrolling down to the next page, we finally get to the large group lesson itself. In the large group lesson, anytime you see something highlighted in yellow like this, it's a tech cue. Right here we have a computer graphic and a sound cue. Anytime there's a graphic or a video in the lesson or something you need to print, you can find those in the resource folder. And as you can see right here in this folder, we've got a Bible verse slide. We have it both as a still graphic and as a motion graphic. And the same goes for the title graphic. We have it as both a still and a motion graphic. Right here you can see the pre-service countdown video. And we also give you pieces so that you can customize and create your own media. For example, this is the unit logo separated from the title graphic in case you want to incorporate it into your stage design or into a poster or a parent communication piece or whatever you want. We also have this blank slide right here in case you want to create additional graphics for your lesson. Maybe you have some announcements you want to put on the screen, or you want to highlight something that was said in the lesson. You can put that on the blank slide so that it matches the rest of the graphics. We even tell you the name of the font we use in the file name so that if you want, you can match that too. Okay, going back to the lesson. We start each lesson with a fun intro that sets up the topic and gets the kids excited about what they're going to learn. Now, in the first lesson of every unit, the intro is a little bit shorter because we include a big Bible story review. Now remember, Go is chronological, so the review helps kids remember how we got to the part of the Bible that we're currently in. This review is great for churches who are starting Go in the middle of the year, or even for kids who have been in the story from the very beginning but just need a reminder. Again, though, this review only happens in the first lesson of every unit. After that, we get to the Bible story portion of the lesson. As you saw on the title page, this lesson comes from a 5-week series called Mad Props. The kids love this series. In Mad Props, there are 4 mystery props in 4 different numbered boxes. And throughout the Bible story, all of the kids get to vote on which box to open, and whatever is inside of that box has to be used to help tell the story. So, for example, you might end up interacting with a banana like it's baby Moses. Now, you can either have the teacher do the acting, or you can have some kids come up and use the props to act out the story while the teacher tells it. At the end of the Bible story, we include some Bible story questions. Here's the idea behind that. Before moving into the application part of the lesson, where we call the kids to action, we want to give the kids a chance to process the story and think for themselves about how they might apply it to their lives. Now, this is one of the pieces of the lesson that some churches use and some don't. That's the great thing about Go. You get to customize it to your own needs. All of these lessons come as a Word document that you can change and edit. So if you want to add something or take something out, you've got total control over that. From there, we get into the application part of the lesson. At its core, this part of the lesson answers 2 questions. Number 1, based on the story we just heard, who is God? And number 2, based on that truth about God, how should we respond? And just like the rest of the lesson, we try to make this as interactive as possible. There's usually some sort of an object lesson or illustration or game that helps answer those questions in a way that a kid is going to understand and remember. In this lesson, for example, the kids learn how memorizing scripture can help them fight fear. Then they play a game that helps them memorize Isaiah 41:13. And then finally, we get to the reflect and respond stations. These stations are designed to help kids do just that. Reflect on who God is and respond to Him through prayer or writing or scripture reading or through art. It's a quiet time for kids to connect with God. Now, there's a whole lot more I could say about the reflect and respond stations, but I'll save that for another video. If you want to know more about these, watch my demo video on the response stations and Go Home Guide. Well, everybody, that's all I've got for the elementary large group demo. If you want a more customized demo, go to our website and click the button that says Request a Demo. We would love to hear more about you and your church and help you figure out how to make Go work best for you. In the meantime, thanks for joining me and take care.